Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the continuous testing meetup online. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depends on where you are. We start. So, at first, I want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, Source Labs, Trendic, and To Amusement for helping us to organize this meetup. So, in case you passed our last meetups, please go to our website, continuousdescentmeetup.com. So you will find all information about the past events and video recording about it. So just go and check there. So today I'm very happy to see here Leandro Melendez with his topic, AI-powered performance testing, exploring the possibilities. So Leandro, the stage is yours.
Hello, thank you, Oksana. Welcome, everybody, to this special event where we are going to be talking a little bit about AI. I mean, who doesn't want to hear and learn a little bit more about AI? And mixed it up with performance testing, which is a topic that not that many people are uh, well versed into the ways in which we can explode this capability. AI mixing it up with performance testing. So first of all, let me share my screen. Okay. Please react thumbs up if you can see my presentation so that I know that I'm not just talking and talking okay, I see thumbs up. Okay. All right, let me see. I want to make the window smaller. Ready. So, welcome everybody. As I mentioned, we're going to be talking about AI-powered performance testing, which is I don't know. I don't know many organizations which are like turbo powered, taking advantage of this, doing all sorts of capabilities that you can do with this new technology, not only the GPTs, the MCPs, but mixing up everything. We're going to dive a little bit more into it. But before we get deeper into the topics, who am I? For the ones that do not know me, I am Leandro Melendez, also known as Señor Performo. I like to think of myself as an educator, content creator, or that I just am on the networks and events trying to help people to ramp up on their performance practices, but not only performance testing, also uh, QA in general, IT in general, methodologies, processes, infrastructure, everything that you need, and now a little bit of AI as well. I also am host of the Pervites podcasts, both in Spanish and English, and as well, I see some comments here on the chat. Let me just quickly turn this off because it's distracting me. At the end, we're going to pay attention to the chats and check on your questions. So I also have the podcasts. I have a couple of YouTube channels as well, Señor Performo in English and in Spanish, where I try to create content and publish it so that you can understand better. There are lots of interviews that I do with other thought leaders in the QA communities. And sometimes even more than that, some leaders in GitHub, in AI, in observability. So stay tuned because I usually bring lots of people so that you can talk to or understand what are their perspectives or their teachings or some cool things that you can learn from them. As well, I like to be on conferences. I generally am presenting tutorials, I am giving talks, running around the conference with a camera, live streaming, and helping you understand what is the feeling if you could not go to the conference. What is the feeling of being there, talking to people, doing lots of interviews, as I mentioned earlier, and just giving talks, presenting similarly to what you are about to witness right now. I generally like to give those presentations. And last but not least, I wrote a book and published The Hitchhiking Guide to Load Testing Projects, a book oriented for everybody to understand traditional load testing projects. I'm making a small emphasis right now. You will understand why in a moment. But these are traditional load testing projects. This book teaches you all the steps all the phases that you need to go through a big load test project in terms that to me are understandable and hopefully makes it easier to you, like tacos and talking about the cosmos and my mom throwing chanclas at me when I was young. So I want to think that examples that you can understand. So check it out. There's a QR code if you want to get in touch. I'm also on all the social media. Feel free to reach out. I always respond, sometimes a little bit slow, but I always respond and I'm always happy to help you. But enough about me. What are gonna take two. What are we gonna talk about today? So in today's presentation, we will start with the needs. What do you need to fully get the best advantages of AI while you are doing performance testing or anything for this matter? How can AI aid you in designing the best performance and load test projects? How can it aid you later in the creation of these projects so that you get big advantage over other creation methodologies or practices? We'll talk. I mean, I'm getting ahead. I'm getting excited. As well, we're going to check on some result analysis and some predictability that you can get from leveraging AI in your performance testing. Not only projects, but analysis and everything that you are going to be doing. So let's start. What are the needs for AI to work in the best way for you? Because believe it or not, it's not just like open the box and yeah, I'm AIing on performance or AIing on anything. You can like just pop up the ChatGPT window and start leveraging AI, but just like that, you won't get the best results. So what do we need? First of all, AI often gives you wrong results. Often. I mean, everybody has examples of some hallucinations, some weird results, some weird answers. And AI won't accept that it was wrong, like tell you, because it's so confident and will try to give you the best answer to its understanding, to its model. And it depends a lot, this model, this understanding that AI has, it depends a lot on the training and the data and the context that you provide to the given tool that you're using, being, I don't know, from Sora, if you're playing with images, the ChatGPT versions, even the Crazy Grok. It will vary a lot depending on what do you have on the training for the model, what context do you have, what information do you give to it. So it's very important that you have good information for it. As an example, I can quickly, and you can reproduce this right away. Ask GPT what are the best steps that you should do for performance testing or any model for that matter. Most probably, the model will jump right away defining a load testing project. And if you know me, if you don't, I'm going to start with this. I have a rant. I generally try to repeat, and I want the whole world to learn that performance testing is not the same as load testing. Load testing is one of the flavors that you can do for performance testing, which is load testing. Create automations, send them towards the system under test, and try to bring it down or see where it breaks, where is the bottleneck. But that's just a little piece of what you can do with performance testing. Performance testing has lots of practices: observability, real user monitoring, single user, web performance, observability, I already said that, release techniques, chaos. Chaos engineering has like a blurry line with performance testing. If you don't have good practices, you cannot leverage chaos testing or chaos engineering in the best way. So because of many organizations, many people tend to think of performance testing as an analogous meaning of load testing, like they are the same. ChatGPT also has this misunderstanding. Why? Because ChatGPT has been trained on all the information that is out there on the internet, and most people use those two terms interchangeably. And because of this, ChatGPT will give you a wrong answer. Will tell you right away, define and scope how much do you want to push it and go to the loads and push it to the limits, the performance metrics, the requirements. Yeah, that's a load testing project, not performance. For you to understand a little bit better, Performance testing is a big practice with lots of things that you can do, like Microsoft Office, or nowadays Microsoft 365 or something like that. The point is Microsoft Office, all the suite of tools. Load testing is Excel. So it's valid if you say, I want to create a spreadsheet in Microsoft Office, but it's still like weird. It would be better if you say, I'm going to create a spreadsheet in Microsoft Excel, not the Office suite, which does lots other things. Word documents, you can do presentations, and many other elements. It's not right to use them interchangeably. Load testing is a small practice of performance testing. Performance testing is a big umbrella of many things that you should be doing. But because of everybody in the internet using these terms interchangeably, ChatGPT and all the other models who were trained on this have that misunderstanding as well. So the model and the information and the results that you will get are as good as the data that you provide to the model. So a key element, we need to give good data. I mean, data is important that we provide to whatever AI platform that we are using, being a large language model or direct machine learning that we are leveraging. It's a good starting point all the time to have the right information and a good amount of information to give to our models, to our interactions with AI. Not just prompts. I mean, it's good that we can generate a prompt and give general information to our our GPT interface or tool that we are using. But if we don't have a good amount of information, hey, ChatGPT, how can I create I don't know, a performance script or a load testing script, better said, for, I don't know, the purchase order functionality in my organization? Well, most probably ChatGPT doesn't know how your specific organization is managing the purchase orders. So it needs information from inside. It's really, really important that it has access or you give some context. It's really cool to train a model from our data. Why do I say to train a model rather than just send it as context? The context that you can send to a prompt or whatever AI tool that you are using, it's good that you provide the context. But if you are providing the context, AI has this memory. If you sent something like 10 chats ago and it starts to lose that memory of what you said earlier, the context that you sent, you will start to get funky results. What happens is that you have to send the context every time back and forth. And that sounds cool and yeah, kind of practical. But every time that you send that context to the model, it's burning tokens. The most context that you're sending to it, the most you are burning the tokens. Right now, many organizations say like, yeah, they are so cheap, it doesn't matter, no problem. Yeah, everybody said the same about the cloud when everybody was migrating to the cloud. It's so cheap, we can just send everything to the cloud and stop spending money on data centers. Now it's not the same. Now that the cloud providers are charging what they are supposed to, things got interesting. And those things are going to happen if you are abusing the context submission to your AI models. So, yes, through the prompt, you can add the preferred data, but it's better to train a model based on your data, being the code of your application, the traffic of your application, or the results. We're going to get into that in a moment. So, please make sure that you have good data to train your model. If you don't have that departure point, most probably you're going to get garbage from whatever interaction you do with AI, being in performance or being on almost anything else. So make sure, and this is a key element of prompt engineering, if you're creating prompts or you are creating anything, provide the best possible data to your interaction, the best possible context, data, information, points, metrics, whatever you have that will help the model to give you the best information possible. If you train your own model, as I said, most probably you're going to get the best results and most efficient price wise, speed wise, and accuracy wise, if that's a term. So if you have your own data and you send it to the model as context continuously, you get better results. But the best thing is if you train a model with your data, being again your code, your traffic, whatever messages are being sent back and forth with the users, being from APIs or web fronts, or even IoTs or any other platforms that you may be using, and the results of your performance tests, measurements, metrics, etc. Please take this into account. It's really important, and it's going to become really important when the company is providing the AI tools that we are using. Start to charge what they are supposed to charge. Just a quick parenthesis. I think yesterday or 2 days ago, Microsoft released some of their AI tool um, profit, and there was no profit. They just put it as a separate expense, and it's just expense because right now they are not making money. When they start to say we need to make money out of this, you will want to take this into account. So beware. Not only because of price, accuracy is also important. So the first thing that we can get a benefit from AI is test design. Create our tests. We're going to get more into the load testing practices, but this is good as well for the performance in general. We'll see why in a moment. First, again, it's really important that we have data to feed to the model so that we get the best results. Because as I said earlier, if the AI doesn't understand your organization, which it shouldn't, you are not providing, if it's public information, okay, maybe the AI can go and scrub the net and grab some information for you and give you good results, good information. But in essence, that should not be the situation. So how could the AI know? How could I know as a real human being? I got this situation in another company that they were like, aren't you the best performance engineer in SAP? And I'm like, oh, that's a big statement. Probably, hopefully I am. But I have no way of understanding how do you use SAP. The last company that I was at was selling cereal. You sell toys. The next one will sell media. The way in which they use the tool is very different. So I cannot give you like, I have no idea. If you want me to test your platform like cereal, like a cereal company, I'll give it a try. But you sell toys, it's different. So beware of this. It's really important. That was my experience, like real human intelligence or some level of intelligence, not so much. Um, AI will be limited as well if you don't give it access to this information, access or provide it. How? One good element is an APM. APM starts for Application Performance Monitor, or now in modern times is Application Performance Management. These are platforms that can hook into your systems and automatically scan and grab and pull all the information, performance metrics, utilization metrics, traces, logs, and analyze all of this and provide you better information. For performance, and this is a AI aside for a moment, an APM and observability is the very first step that you should do for performance testing in modern times. No scripting, no trying to bring down the system. No. Have observability through an APM in your platform. This is really important for modern times performance, AI aside. With AI now in the picture, it's even more important because this is just observing everything, extracting lots of information from your platform, and it can be provided to the AI model or even train the model with all that information, and you will get better results. So please, APMs, observability in your solutions is really important, really important. Nowadays, if you don't have it, it's like flying an airplane without any devices, any measurements, any telemetry instrumentation. It's like, would you board a plane that has no equipment? That, no, we're saving money on that equipment. It doesn't matter. We can put more passengers in. I wouldn't. And many of us are flying on systems that do these things. So what information do we get from an APM? As an example, this is a very quick example. This one is telling us which ones are the most frequently accessed APIs in our system. You can see some posts, some gets, some for agents, some for orders, customers, dashboards. So this quickly shows you what are the most frequent accessed endpoints in your system. Some other informations. How long does it take to respond? How many transactions per minute happen? This is sorted, and you can see the most important ones, the ones that are accessed the most frequently. And with this information, an AI model can quickly tell you, like, I think that the most important is here. Let me move here. This one with events, this one with just the general API, this one with agents, and this one static file. Those ones, for what I can tell right away, have the most frequent, me, a human intelligence. An AI will be better at giving you more information about it. And this is a quick example of what an APM can tell you in terms of the information for your system. There are so many other things that APMs give you in general. This is another one that is super cool. APMs will analyze the traffic and tell you, okay, your users generally land here in the main page of your system. Most of your users go to this element on the top, then flow to this, flow to this, and flow to this, and then they are done. From this, you have an analysis where you can almost design a test case from this information that your APM, your observability platform will tell you is there. And this is super powerful because you don't have to go and talk to the user and ask like in all times. No, no, no. This will give you a better idea of what are the user flows in your system. Provide this to an APM. It will tell you like what are the best routes that you should simulate, what APIs, which ones are the most important, where are you losing the users, where are they kind of like dropping probably because of performance problems. There are so many analyses that you can do and create and design scenarios, design test cases, scenarios. Where should I send the most users, the most API calls from this one that we had before and from this one that tells you exactly where everybody's passing through? Wow, this is super powerful. Another one is to implement your own observability. Only this O11Y means observability. Is O with 11 letters and a Y, observability. So if you didn't know, now you know. So you can implement as well your own observability in your systems. You can implement it through some open source solutions. Here I'm showing you OpenTelemetry, Prometheus, Jaeger, or as I said, you can build it yourself. You can just instrument the code by hand and gather that information. It's not recommendable because, I mean, you can, but it's better just to leverage these open source tools, or there are some commercial ones. There's like Grafana, Dynatrace, Datadog, New Relic, AppDynamics, several that you can, and they will give you the commercial ones is just like what's the name of this thing? An agent. You install it on your devices, on your servers, on whatever you want to observe. And there you go. It lights up like a Christmas tree and you see all sorts of lights. These ones that I'm telling you, the open source ones, are not as straightforward and transparent, but they are really powerful. Please have it on all your systems, in your infrastructure, in your application servers, web servers, databases, whatever you have observability is really, really powerful. And again, step one for performance in general. From them, you're going to get logs, traces, metrics, and more in the data points and information that will be useful, especially for a model. So please, 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 observability is the first step if you want to get the best results by leveraging AI. If you have that data, when you are asking AI some funny questions like, hey, can I design a performance or load test of the interaction of these two components? Maybe I have a new database, maybe I have a new, I don't know, a function, a new requirement that I am adding. Can we quickly design what do I need to, and the AI can tell you, yes, yes, use this with this from the information that the AI has, and there you have it. Hey, can we design a load test for a Thursday at 4 p.m. because that's usually like a rush hour when all the employees are trying, I don't know, to submit the timesheets or the results or whatever. Yes, from the analysis, the AI will go and check what is the traffic on your system and say, this is the best hit this API this many times, hit this API, you need a script for this, for this, for this, right away. And it will be the best because it will be based on your system. If you ask a random question to your GPT, like, yeah, I want to simulate, and the GPT will be like, yeah, okay, I don't know you, I don't know your traffic, but, and it will always try to tell you something. So it will tell you, yeah, how about this, and that? Most probably will be wrong. This is really important as well when you're trying to design a big load test. I call them the BALT, big as load tests, that you have to do for situations like Black Friday, when Taylor Swift sells tickets on your platform, Super Bowl, many other events, Cyber Monday, etc., etc., etc. When there's a big event coming, and you have all these logs and these parameters that you can feed to the AI, you can tell, hey, AI, ChatGPT, or whatever you're using. I'm just gonna generically call it AI. Hey, AI, how should I simulate a Taylor Swift event, a Black Friday event in my platform, given the information that you have, all the metrics, all the logs, all the traces for a traditional sale? Probably was not the big sale, but analyze an old one that we had here, that we had there. It will give you a really good load tests that you can generate. It will tell you, hit this many times, this many times, you should do will be awesome. But again, the data, the input, and the departure point is super important. Another element is that you can ask the AI to generate the tests for you. Like, hey, I have these design files, I have this information from the platform that I am using. Can you create a test that is for me ready to run? Just like how to say, some tools have this load testing. In the previous step, we just asked like, how many times do I hit this API? How many but it was just like a plain answer, plain text. From here, you can tell some tools will require a separate file or some code inside of the file saying like, hey, just create it for me. How many? Here you have a file ready to go. Just check it out. Just tune it. Never ever run anything that AI spits to you and paste it and run it. No, no, no. Please check it out. But it can generate these design files for you. It can generate these scripts, these special instructions that will tell it this API this many times, this API this many times. This one is for an hour. This one is for 10 minutes. This one, it will help you really good. But to do this type of tests, you need the tests, you need the scripts, you need the automations. So that takes us to the next step where AI can help you creating the tests. Because a moment ago, we were creating the characteristics of the tests, the scenario. How many times do I run this script, this script, and this script, and this script? But we don't have scripts yet. Well, AI can help you creating those scripts as well. There are two types of scripts or automations that we can create: the multi step, better known as end to end, or the service calls, or better known as API tests. Both of them, AI is really good at helping you, but needs a little bit of different inputs from you. On one hand, API automations, in my opinion, are the easiest, most straightforward, most stable. And if you have all this information from your system that I mentioned earlier, the observability measurements, it can help you identifying which APIs to automate. But another element that you need to provide to your system is probably on one hand, the code of the application that you're going to be testing. If the model has access to the code and can see what is going to be submitted, what is going to be returned, it can tell you, okay, this API requires this input, this output, probably create the script, that's it, da. And from the requirements, it will create the API calls for you automatically. It will be super efficient about it. Again, check what it's generating for you, and we'll be able to tell you. Another cool thing for API here at this level is if there's a change in the API, before you create a script, before you try to run anything, it can tell you, hey, there was a change. So we're giving access here to the code base. The API has the API. The AI has access to the code of your solution. And it can tell you, hey, there was this change. I'm going to fix your scripts, all of them, right? There are some platforms that will help us to fix all the scripts when there's a change. Again, it's not the ultimate tool. Check what it's speeding, but you will get a lot of help. Tell it. Tell me where are the changes. What should I do? This looks good. This looks good. Test it. Okay, we're good. But it's going to make it everything so much faster and most efficient. And this is with API calls. The one for me that are modern that nowadays you will be dealing with the most because in the past we had some other types that we would automate the most. In the past, like 5, 10, 15 years ago, we almost didn't deal at all with APIs. We dealt with end-to-end automations. These ones where you open a browser, record the landing page, login page, main page inside of the system, now going to this step, going to this step. So as we saw earlier, with good observability, you can see where your users are flowing and you can generate some of these test cases from what information do you have. Once you have the test case, you can identify the correlations. This is also very powerful. If you give access to the code of your application, you will be able to get, hey, AI. I'm not going to say GPT or Grok or whichever model you're using, AI. From now on, just beware. Hey, AI, what are the correlations that I need here for this thing? What are the parameterization elements that I need here? Sometimes you don't want to be sending the same value all the time in your automation if you're going to automate a lot. It will tell you, hey, on this one, this is a user ID. Probably you want to use multiple user IDs so that the system is not the same person overloading the system. Maybe you want that. Most of the times you don't. The wait times. Hey, you have multiple steps. You should wait here. You should wait here. You should wait here if you want to hit these iterations per minute. Remember that earlier in the design phase, the AI told us like, hey, yes, this process, you need to call it, I don't know, 1,000 times per minute. The best mix would be to have these multiple threads or virtual users. Don't call them virtual users, but threads or virtual users. And to get these iterations that we're looking for, you need these wait times in between each one of the steps. So it will help you way better to tune those. These GPTs as well, these AIs, you can provide not only the information that they can analyze from inside of your system, but you can also provide recordings. You know, in the old days that I was mentioning, you would open a browser, start your recorder in the tool, and do the clicks, do the steps, and provide, and from them generate an animation, a script. What you can do now is do those recordings and provide them to the tool, to the AI, and tell the AI, hey, I recorded these steps. Can you generate a script for me? The super cool thing here is that some limitations will be removed. First, correlations was a big pain that we had in the past because you had to manually find them and look here, look there, where did it change, and try to. It was, I call it the Stockholm syndrome. In the beginning, is horrible. Oh my god! But once you get into it and you get good at doing them, it becomes pretty and you start to enjoy it. But you shouldn't be using that much time in correlations anymore. But this will help you to identify some of these gaps, some of the correlations. AI is really powerful at identifying them. Hey, this change here, this change here. This is probably a parameter. This is probably a correlation. Let's replace them in the script. This is a good command that you could use. Check them out, add them, and you can create an automation very easily. How? As an example here, I am providing the hard files of a set of steps that I did on a system that I was testing. And ChatGPT here in this example analyzed them and told me like, yeah, I can generate a script for you from here. I think in this example that you're seeing on screen, I didn't want it to make it live because sometimes things go wrong. So record a hard file, go to your browser, record the steps, and provide that hard file to ChatGPT. It will tell you, okay, yeah, from this hard file, I can analyze it. What tool do you want me to create the script for? And this is really powerful because you can tell it, oh, yeah, and this time I'm using K6. This time I'm using Gatling. That other time I'm using Locust. Yes, it can do it, and it will generate the script for you in almost any language. So this is super powerful, and JMeter as well. But XML, JMX files look huge. I don't love the results that I get for JMeter with these type of efforts, but the tools that are based on code are awesome. Please try Gatling, try K6, try Locust, sometimes Vegeta, sometimes some Taros, some of the other tools. But the results from this effort will be awesome. And it's like LoadRunner as well. It generates very good LoadRunners scripts if you need it. It's amazing. What is even better, even more powerful, I provide one or more recordings of the same steps. In the past, when I was recording with LoadRunner and checking all the steps, I would record, and even with JMeter, I have done that with JMeter as well. And most of the tools I recommended, record twice or three times, and then identify the differences. Where does it change? So that you know exactly where do you have to do the correlation. Well, AI is really good at this as well. If you provide the recordings, it will be, yes, this change, this change, this change. Probably you need this, you need here. Probably this is a parameter. Probably this is just a user input that you need to parameterize. This is a correlation for sure. Here you should check. It will give you everything that you need and will generate a script. Generally, it will be very good. So beware, because as well, some cool thing, have you used Cursor? Well, Cursor is a tool where you can give a lot of context, has MCPs, has access to lots of things, and it will let you record, give you insights. These correlations that I was mentioning in this quick screenshot, I had some hard recordings on a system, and it was just going through them. I told, hey, could you analyze these two? I have the recordings for the same steps without going to ChatGPT. You are on your Cursor editor. I think you can do it as well in Visual Studio Code. Just tell it, here are the sources, analyze, generate this for me, check it out. It's a good test, execute it, it works, we're good to go. Even from scratch, in Cursor, as I was mentioning earlier with the APIs, you can tell it, hey, I have all this code base, these interactions, these APIs, I don't know, the front end files, whatever you have in your code base, and tell it, analyze this, and that, and tell me what automation can you generate for the APIs. And it will generate really, really good things. Again, beware giving it good context, good access to the information that you want it to work from. You get beautiful results, beautiful, beautiful results. The scripts, oh my God. Some of this, the times when I'm working with these scripts, with these automations, and I get these results, is incredible. But again, every time that you do it with Cursor, it's submitting all the file, all the context. A hard recording is pretty big, really, really big. The file has lots of tokens. This is important because you're going to be burning tokens quite a bit. And right now you would say, yeah, it doesn't matter. Tokens are awesome. I have lots of them. I have, it's like the cloud credits. In the beginning, it was awesome. It was a party. Everybody had lots of them. This won't last. So beware, this can evolve, and it's better if you can get local models or train your model on all of this information that you have on the hard recordings and everything, and just ask once. Send the context once, and you will get the best results. Now, another great element for performance tests, load tests specifically, where AI is great, is analyzing the results. But again, the results as an input. AI needs access to all of these results that you have and will be able to tell you lots of interesting insights into it. It's really good, really, really good at correlating, cross-referencing, and telling you where could you see problems. But make sure that you give them as input all the test results, the logs, the metrics, the traces, and any other thing that you consider relevant, even screenshots, even images. For this, for LLMs, machine learning, if you're training a model based on your results, it's good. If you are using prompting, it's really, really good. Just make sure that it has access to all of that. All the types of data that you're going to get as results, I was saying, is great for load tests, but every performance test. From load test results, you can provide all the metrics, everything that was generated. Just beware. This is going to be huge. A big, big, big load test will have lots of metrics, lots of logs, lots of traces, like sometimes a ridiculous amount. We have crashed databases storing the performance test result, the load test results. So beware, it's going to be huge. You can send it to AI, but it's use it with care. Unit test results. Sometimes unit tests automatically report performance metrics from monitoring your productive system. If you want to do blue green, canary, AB, any of these release techniques, you can release into production, let AI get some insights, and it will tell you right away, hey, 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 this is breaking, roll it back. And if you connect well some A2A or MCPs, you could even trigger a rollback automatically by AI, identifying that there was a problem. The same with synthetics. You can have some synthetics continuously generating action into your system, requests, interactions, etc. And if something is detected from the metrics that you are providing to AI, it will tell you right away. All this is super, super important because you are using production metrics, but not only that, pre-productive as well. If there's someone, I don't know, in the staging environment, in the QA environment, pushing something that might look problematic, AI, if it has access and is continually analyzing these type of things, can tell you right away, hey, someone is trying to check in code that is moving towards production and has problems. If you configure these type of things efficiently, it gives you really, really great results. As well, RUM, and I'm not talking about the beverage. RUM stands for real user monitoring. If you're monitoring the activity of your users, it will tell you as well, hey, your users are getting frustrated in this page, this image is too big. It will give you lots of information for you to take action on to improve the performance of your platform and hence the experience of your users. Now, it will help you as well with these findings, as I was saying. With all this information that you're providing, it will tell you during a load test where is the bottleneck most probably. And some tools even tell you like, hey, the problem is in this line of code. And the solution could be this. And even pushing it further, I already submitted a defect or an email to the developer so that they start working at it. So you can push the boundaries here quite a bit. It will come with the source of the problem, probably observing the patterns, and probably even generate a report. Like quickly, here it is from a problem that I detected on a unit test, on a situation like that. I already submitted a report with this information that is useful for the person. So if you configure this in the right ways, I've seen some experiments that have been done because I don't know any tool that fully integrates everything that you have seen so far. But I don't know. I tend to think that it's like a kitchen. You don't want the single tool in your kitchen to work for everything. You need a fork for this, you need a spoon for soup, you need like a salad, the big fork and spoon for the salad. You want like the ninja knife for when you're cutting beef or preparing something. You want a mixer for when you're creating a smoothie. You're not going to try to do a smoothie with the fork. It will be, well, very hard. Probably you can, but it will be very hard. So you have to mix and match tools and put them together here to generate the best performance results, performance test results. So something as well, now to start to wrap up a little bit, that AI will be able to tell you, as I was mentioning, if you mix up not only load tests, not only ROM, not only release techniques, but everything, chaos engineering, synthetics, observability, It can predict upcoming issues. It can tell you like, hey, the RAM here is starting to run out, or the pods are not being created fast enough or in a good pace. Um, or identify, hey, at this moment you have a problem here. Or did you know that you have a problem here? Some things that you might not be aware of. Future scenarios. You can ask if you give enough information and you train the model well on what you have in your system, you can prompt, hey, in a month we're going to have, I don't know, 50% more users or this amount of more activity, less activity. What should I do? Is the system going to be able to handle it? Is the system going to be oversized? Like, do I have too much system for the amount of users? It will help you as well to analyze chaos. Hey, if these databases start to be slow, if I when you do like the chaos blast tests, you'll be able to analyze what are the impacts. Without, it's better to have a person. Never ever. I know AI is not going to replace us. Don't be worried about that. But if you have a person with AI tools analyzing this, chaos engineers, performance engineers, QA, infrastructure, everything, AI will give you the best insights and action items right away. Now, future predictions from my end. To start, I already mentioned this. There's not going to be a single one tool to rule them all. There has never been. Many organizations have tried to create the performance tool, the AI tool, or the performance tool with AI and everything else that you need reporting, observability, instrumentation, blah, 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 blah. No. You can have a spoon for soup, a fork for, I don't know, pasta, but you have to put them together if you want to eat pasta, as an example. Some people tell me, like, yeah, there's a spork, and that's an awesome, yeah, try to eat pasta with that, or try to eat soup. You can eat soup, but the soup drips through the little things, and it's not the best experience, right? Every system is different. Humans will always be needed in the loop to provide information to AI about our systems, to let it investigate, check. We have to provide it, and we have to be in the loop. Some friend told me like the perspective or the understanding was to have a human in the loop. Nowadays, it starts to evolve into having an expert in the loop. So beware, AI can help you in lots of tasks, but if you are not expert enough or knowledgeable of what it is spitting, the information that it's giving you, can be bogus. Even if you provide all this information, all the things that I have been talking about so far, even if you provide that, it still can hallucinate and give you some weird results. Make sure that you have an expert with you. With this, we are not going to be losing jobs. We're going to be getting more work to do, more efficient, more things that we can do with AI. Imagine all the animations that you can create with what I showed you, all the analysis that you can generate, the reports. It will soon start getting, and you can already put together some reports through AI. I mean, not the output of the report, design the report, tell it, hey, I need a report for the CFO who wants to know how much are we spending on AI. And it will tell you, okay, the best report for the CIO is not throughput, it's not response time, it's the CFO. I don't know why I keep saying CIO. CFO. The best report for the CFO is not throughput, it's not bandwidth, it's not request per second, blah, 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 blah. Money, happiness of the user, where can we save? So it can craft a report from that information. But this comes from humans. We have to input the information for these reports and know what are we asking for. There's going to be much, much work. I just hinted a little bit on the performance of AI that we need to take into account. Now it's not going to be like, yeah, what is the best way to get the response time of my API to be the fastest? Or how can I optimize my API to be cheapest in the cloud? You will have to start to do that for AI. How can I train my model so that I don't consume that many tokens? How can I, because this consumption is part of performance. Performance is how efficient and how much does your system cost to you to be running. So we're going to have these types of fun. How fast, how efficient, money wise, speed wise, accuracy wise. All this is going to be a performance metric in AI. So there's so much work that we're going to have. These are some examples that you can get some help by AI, make AI suffer. I already gave you a few. Hopefully, you tried a few of those to see that, yes, it fails right away, asking for performance, just performance, and many other things. So we're going to have so much fun. We're not going to be out of work. We'll have to learn new ways in which we have to work, but there's going to be so much that we can do. But with that, I want to thank you all for enduring this little rant and these few ideas. I didn't want to do kind of live examples because sometimes things go weird. But with the things that I mentioned, I hope that you get enough information to start playing around with all this. There's this QR code I showed in the beginning. If you want to get in touch, have more questions, I'm always happy to. If you are shy to ask them right now, please ask right now. We're gonna get into the Q&A right now. But if you feel shy or you forgot or you want to come back later and reach out on some other elements, feel free. There are all my contacts. Like, subscribe, activate the bell, and all the YouTube stuff. And thank you so much for enduring this little conversation. And hello. Do we have questions? Let me check. I see some chats. Oh, Javier, thank you for the heart. Okay. I'm going to read the one that I see. Hey, Oksana. I think you're muted. I didn't know if I should.
Hi, yeah, you can read by yourself.
Okay. I only see one question. Everybody, if you have more, let me know. We do Gen AI style of API testing. Very useful. This is from Las Condresh. I'm sorry. I hope I'm not butchering your name. Uh, we do a Gen AI style of API testing. Very useful and time saving. Great. But the framework should be code based and have proper API docs and specs. Well, one interesting thing is that if you feed all your code base to AI, it can give you an analysis of what each line of code is doing and probably generate some sort of documentation. Again, don't trust on anything that AI gives back to you just as it spits it out. Make sure that you check it out, but it can aid you as well on filling the gaps on some of these documentation and some of these solutions. Code-based documentation as well inside of the code, in my opinion, is really powerful. I really like a well commented code and documented. It's beautiful. So there are some advantages and ideas that can be done. And I'm not sure if that was a statement of or a question, but I ran with it. So anyone else? I think they got scared with so much.
Question, actually.
Hey, Kate, yes, bring it on.
No, so how do you choose the tool that you are using, like in general? What is your general approach in deciding, like there is abundance of tools, open source and paid ones. So do you have any approach that you apply for AI, let's say, or AI-based tools for your project? Is it something that your team is bringing? Is it something that organization is deciding? Or do you have any recommendation in this regard?
This is big. On one hand, as you mentioned, sometimes your organization has like, this is the tool that we got for you and good luck. Sometimes you can request which one do you want to use, or the teams can define and decide. On one hand, tools for performance, as I gave the example, it varies a lot. Some tools are the fork, some tools are the spoon, some others are the knife. I like to mix them up, especially the ones that are open source and free, where you can try different things and combine them. And if you have all the results and provide them to an AI platform, you get even better results. And AI can help you tweak those results to everything, no matter what source do you use a tool. If you used tool A, tool B, or tool C, the results passing through AI can even generate you a data conversion model so that everything ends up in the same format. Now, AI-based tools. This is another one where many times your organization will tell you, this is what we got. We are a Microsoft platform, and this is what we have. Some others will give you access to ChatGPT. Some others will hire some others. It depends a lot. And things in AI are changing so much and so fast that I would say it will depend a lot on the moment and the circumstance of the organization. Some organizations are not super happy about some tools. Right now, right today, some tools are better at coding, some tools are better at analysis. And this is today. Tomorrow, there's going to be another model. I'm sure tomorrow someone will bring another change, another GPT 7, 5, 20, I don't know, will come out. And with AI, it's going to be really, really difficult. My biggest recommendation there, if you have a say or the decision lies on you, be on the look for what is the latest, what is the best, and try to adapt it. I know for big organizations this can be difficult, but I think this is what we get. Nowadays, these things are coming up so much, so fast, and so many. It's a tough choice.
See, thank you so much. So I guess it's based on experience and playing around everything and staying up to date.
It's and trying to evaluate and know and figure out which ones are the best, which ones are not so good. Most of general GPTs, general AI, will be good. Sometimes if I choose this over that one, it's a difference of this one is 80% better than the other and some percentage. Most of them will help you, but which one is the best is going to be the toughest question to answer now. Some organizations have a few models, not only one, and they pass the things through multiple and see like, okay, this one concur on the results, so we get to that. There are many types. Can't land it on one. It's gonna be fun if I. That's the answer I can give you.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. So I see a few others from Ben. Ben says the hallucinations are very scary, and human verification at every step seems like it could take as much time as doing the performance testing without AI. What verifications steps can be built into the process to identify or even deal with hallucinations or other similar risks? This is a good point. The verification, if you're creating things that are too big, can take too much time. But generally, when you're working with AI to generate animations, to give you an example, the verification is the initial steps, and then it's a quick glance through. You can automate that verification as well, like put another model. You can do a few crazy things, but most of the time when it's code related and there's a change, go quickly to Cursor, to Visual Studio Code. Copilot can tell you and like, hey, you should change this. And it's yes, sitting just accept this, accept this, accept this. No, redo this, redo this, redo this. It's going to be faster than doing it by hand, of course, but you need to dedicate that time. I always would recommend that you dedicate a little bit of time and that effort. It's not as big as you did in the past, but it will require some effort to guarantee that you're getting good results. Always have a human in the loop. Always, really, really important. Otherwise, yeah, you will for sure eventually, no matter how good is your model, eventually you will get some hallucinations, some bad result, or some weird thing happening, and that can cause big problems. And if that slips into your code base or your scripts and everything, it will start to grow. If you don't identify it, it becomes like technical debt that grows, but you don't know about this technical debt. So always have a human in the loop. Trust me, it may seem like a lot to do. It's less than what we used to do. Way less. Now we have a Sif asking, how can Gen AI assist in migrating performance test scripts from one tool to another, such as converting VU Gen scripts to JMeter, Gatling, K6, blah, 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 especially when the original scripts contain extensive custom C code and complex logic? This is a really good one. There are tools, as you are mentioning as an example, C code, ANSI, the original C code. Whoever whoever promises you a migration tool from one tool from another is lying to you, plain and simple, even if it's AI. Why? There are some elements, like you mentioned very well. In Load Runner, we can have custom, very specific, true ANSI functions, code, elements that we have in our solution. And we have, as an example, malloc, the memory allocation. You can play around that in Visual Studio Code, even ANSI, sorry. Good luck creating those commands in other tools. I don't know any JMeter command that does memory allocation. Probably it's somewhere over there, but I'm just giving an example. There are things that just won't translate. So you can get help on some of the basic things, and generally AI will help you migrating them, but nothing will be 100% automatic and good. There are things that do not translate from one tool to the other. There are things that one tool does that the other absolutely doesn't, or vice versa. And you'll be stuck with those. So beware on this. Whoever promises you this migration automatic and it's super awesome, beware. Beware. I don't know. To give you a quick example, the configurations of the controller in Roadrunner, migrate them to a K6 script, which the settings for the controller for a load test are not in a separate entity. It's not a separate platform. It's inside of the script. I have tried it, and even AI gets confused, like, yeah, this is what I got, and it's not at all what you're looking for. So beware with those. I don't think you will get the best results. With that complex logic, what you can do is create some APIs or functions and ask, but you need that context. You need to understand, like, hey, I had this piece of code. I want to move it to JMeter. How can I do it? Probably will tell you, okay, you need Groovy code that more or less translate to this, put it in this section. Okay. But you are asking specifics. You are the human in the loop asking for those conversion steps, not just like, here are a bunch of scripts, convert them to, no, it won't work. No tool will do that. Sorry to say. Okay, any other?
There are others before. Scroll up, please.
Oh, sorry for the ones that I didn't see. Okay, I think what we do, we exported API docs like Swagger, context it to AI like Rackstyle as context, and generate all unit boundary end-to-end integrations to the review or proper use objects. The tricky part is to add metrics and observability into it and connect it to AI again as well. Okay, for what you're mentioning, yes, with the documentation, with all the Swagger type information that you can provide helps AI. Some places I have seen the problem mixing it up with observability, instrumentation, and so on, is to identify what call relates to what part of the element. I've always seen that you have to do creative stuff. You manually create a tag that is inserted in the code here or there, and you give an indication for everything else, from the Swagger-like documentation, from the observability and the AI platform, to know what are you talking about and to link them at a higher level. It's like an identifier for an MCP that needs to understand from different sources. So that's what I can think of, what I've seen. But yeah, that's an interesting situation. Did we get Kunal? I don't know if I Could you please suggest which tools are recommended for performance testing and API testing in the current industry trend? Additionally, among these tools, which ones offer AI-powered capabilities? Okay, Kunal. As I mentioned earlier, there's the fork, there's the spoon, and there's a knife, and there's, I don't know, the big shaker that you use to eat scarottes in France. It will depend a lot on what you're trying to do. I generally don't say use one tool. If I limited you and say, which tool would you pick for eating in general? Would you pick only one? I know of some organizations that say, for these situations, we use Gatling. For these other situations, we use K6. For those that there's no other way, we still use load runner because there's no other way to do, I don't know, SAP or remote desktop protocols, etc. And I am a believer, if you can, have them all and understand them all. Sometimes you can't because they are paid and you have to be wise about your budgets. But wherever you can go open source and start playing with most of them and make sure that the results of each one of them end up in a universal format so that everybody can work with them no matter what tool that they're using. And AI power capabilities. As I said, I prefer the code-based tools, personal opinion. There are some times where JMeter will be better, where Neoload will be better. Some other times I generally like more Gatling, K6, and Locust because they are code-based. And you can work in Cursor through them and create lots of good scripts, which already has the AI power capabilities. I don't think any other tool has really embraced in a good way AI capabilities. JMeter, I've seen some plugins, some things that you can do, but nothing truly convinces me that is yet there. And I have a feeling no one is going to be able to kind of truly integrate in a way that is, I don't know, super intuitive and easy to grasp. So play around with Cursor and see what you can get with some of these code-based tools. Still, JMeter you can't. You may have to do manual, not AI assisted, or the things that you get from AI won't be as transparent. But sometimes you also are stuck with JMeter. I wouldn't do like an end-to-end browser recording with some of the code-based tools. And still, I feel like JMeter, even as Gatling and K6 are coming up with some recorders that are really good, I don't feel they are yet at a JMeter level, but they are also evolving. Let's see. What else? Useful saving. Okay, I think I went through all of them. Let me know. I see a new one. Yay. Okay, what do you think we will see in the near 5-year future in API world? Oh, wow, this is always a fun question. Like giving endpoint and self-discovering all the parameters need to proper testing of particular endpoint, or API will be dead and we will migrate to test MCP instead of API. Boy, 5 years. It's never a good idea to try to predict the future. You will always be wrong. I'm not sure. I don't think APIs will be replaced by MCPs. A different purpose and end game for each one of them. But things are going to be a bit more fluid in testing APIs. As you mentioned, you can provide some context. You can provide access to the API, the code of the API, the calls, the requests, and let the AI analyze and tell you all sorts of testing needs that you may need around that API, eliminating many of the things that we used to. Here's your Postman script to go with it. Here's a unit test integrated or a set of unit tests. This API is, I don't know, database based, so you should check for injection, security. So things are going to be really interesting. 5 years, seriously, is too far to say, especially with API and the exponential speed that we are getting the changes nowadays. I mean, I don't think it was even 3 years ago that we had no GPTs. The AI was not like a craze that we have right now. And now, every now and then, we keep getting new things. MCP was not long ago. Now I'm starting to hear a lot of the A2A situation. And I'm sure in a few months, some new buzzword and capability will come up. And the only thing I can say is that things are going to get faster and faster and more interesting. Can we use AI to predict the future? You can try. I'm not sure that you're going to get the best results given. I mean, to give you a quick example, there are some vicissitudes of life that will happen. No AI model could have predicted that we would get the pandemic that we got. Things happen, and the future sometimes is so radical. Who knew that the power of the internet and everything, all the knowledge that we could get, we would be using it to share cat videos or do what was the name of the AI slop that Italian brain rot? Who would have imagined that AI would go in those directions, right? Not even AI. Okay. I think I made some people laugh. Okay. I think we're through with all of them. Yeah,
So
if
any
anyone is missing,
or
yes.
any other questions? You can just unmute yourself.
Okay, what is your, Asif has a question. What is your view on performance testing low-code platforms like Pega, Salesforce, Siebel, particularly in light of the significant scripting challenges posed by factors like heavy obfuscation, lack of implementation transparency, dynamically generated URLs, um, generated by JavaScript. Load runners true client can handle these, but other tools not. So there are some things that AI is going to get interesting into, because in these situations, you can have a model, and I don't agree that much that only true client can deal with this. But browser recorders and browser interactions, every time that some of these platforms change or have dynamic backends, you can continuously generate dynamic animations that will be up to date all the time. And I don't know. Some of these, again, the performance test of a platform like Salesforce, like Pega, and what you're mentioning, the Siebel, in theory, and most of them legally bind you to not to do load tests on their platform because they are shared environments. Most of the time, your platform is shared with 5 other companies, the server or cloud space. And if you start to blast a load test, it will grow and make the other customers slower. But when you stop your load tests, it will go back to whatever is efficient. It's going to be very difficult. I would suggest for this is going to be more important instrumentation. Not all of them let you. So you can generate it from outside with synthetics and some other methodologies. But some of these solutions, you will see some scripting, I don't know if calling them languages, that will be generating the script on the go every time that you run it and you need it. It's going to be up to the steps. A little bit like this eggplant that you just gave instructions. You can have a good prompt and say like, this script worked a month ago, was doing this, this, and that. You have the logs, you have the information, you have everything that happened. Please update it to the latest changes that they did or whatever happened. But I feel with those platforms, you will never have an easy time. It's the nature. They don't want you to be testing them. So they will go around and make things a little bit more difficult. By contract, they don't want you to test them, load test them especially. So yeah, that's there are going to be ways, but they are going to implement some other things so that the ways do not work as easy. And it's always the chasing your tail with those situations. So it's possible. I can think of some solutions, but it's always going to be ugly with them. Sorry. Any other? Okay, sounds like we're about to call it a day. Everybody, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to keep answering questions. If you don't have that many or it's late for you and you want to go and have dinner or sleep, I'm always happy to follow up. So don't be shy.
So thank you, Leandro, for your talk and for your answers for the question. We really had a lot of questions, and the topic was really interesting for everyone. So let's check what's happened next. So less than in 1 month, so 11th of November, we have the next meetup, API testing with AI on Jill Zilberfeld. So I hope to see you there. So then thank you very much for your participation, for joining us today, and have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.